There's a reason that the Pride Coalition, the Alphabet Mafia, whatever you want to call it, the LGBTQ plus AIRP, LMNOP, XYZ, 2 plus, whatever the hell they want to call themselves, are extra aggressive during this very sacred of Pride months. It's because they've been taking more L's in the beginning of whatever their acronym is at any given point in time. And this one right here it's truly the piece de resistance, because we've seen a little bit of the culture being crawled back last week with the Dodgers situation, where the nuns just absolutely get shut out. But, oh, don't worry, during the game, people turned out. Yeah, but nobody turned out for your big gay ceremony. And now you've lost the NHL. Holy. Here we got conversation between one of the absolute most soy-filled interviewers, hockey personalities, and Elliot Friedman. Yuck. Back when I used to watch and listen to sports talk, he was one of the most insufferable fucks that was ever on there. But he's interviewing Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL, and he put this out at the time. I remember covering it back when, all the based Russian players we're just going, no, we don't like this Pride Night stuff. It runs contrary to all of our opinions by our Orthodox Church. And then he had a couple of other stars come out as well and just went, yeah, we ain't doing any of this fucking rainbow garbage. And then Bettman's like, well, we got to kind of rethink this whole Pride Night stuff. And this just dropped earlier, so...
Commissioner, first of all, I understand there was a decision made on the Pride jerseys in warm-up today at Board of Governors.
Yeah, so they had a meeting. I guess it would have been earlier on the 22nd. So we'll see.
Actually, I've suggested that it would be appropriate for clubs not to change their jerseys in warm-ups because it's become a distraction and taking away from the fact that all of our clubs in some form or another host nights in honor of various groups or causes, and we'd rather they continue to get the appropriate attention that they deserve and not be a distraction.
Absolutely good move, because I can't think of any other situation outside of some very, very, very rare events where you end up having special jerseys for any given group. The only time that I can think where there's different types of jerseys is given each certain country's inauguration date, and that would only happen mostly in baseball. That's what comes to mind for me. And it's like whenever, a team's playing on Independence Day, mostly you have the entire slot of teams except for one. They have the stars and bars emblazoned inside of their logo. I think that looks pretty slick. And then for, the Toronto Blue Jays, they used to play against the Montreal Expos back when they were a thing. Like they would play a home-and-home series in, on, and around Canada Day, and they would have special decked-out Canada Day jerseys. But I think that that's fairly appropriate, as opposed to capitulating to a bunch of people that either A, don't give a shit about the chosen sport, or B, I'm damn well certain that there are gay fans of sports that are out there, but you don't need to pander to them. They liked the sport before you decided to virtue signal, so they will continue doing the exact same. Nobody else asks for any other pet project to be pandered to. And like an exceptionally handsome content creator points out, astronomically rare, Bettman W. 1000% true on this one. NHL teams will not wear specialty warm-up jerseys next season after Pride drama. Yes, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman is taking a page out of his baseball counterpart's book on the topic of specialty jerseys. Yes, because, stupid Rob Manlett, which, fuck him, piss be upon him. After MLB Commissioner, Manlett, told reporters last week that he advised teams against wearing Pride logos on uniforms. There was just about every team had a Pride night, except for one, the Texas Rangers of all places. And how are they doing in the standings? Oh, I think they're leading, or at least right close to the top of the AL West. So, interesting. When you don't virtue signal, you get results. It's very interesting how simple of a formula it is, but very difficult for all of these brainlets to follow it. I've suggested that it would be appropriate for clubs not to change their jerseys in warm-ups because it's become a distraction, and taking away from the fact that all of our clubs in some form or another host nights in honor of various groups or causes, and we rather those continue to get the appropriate attention that they deserve and not be a distraction, without specifically calling out the big gay agenda, because, take a look at various different groups and causes, but who specifically are you supporting? Like, it's pretty fucking annoying, especially when the NFL does their stupid pink shit for, was that all of October or September, some shit like that, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's like, yeah, they're supporting a specific charity that they partnered with. Fuck, even the Fed, WWE, does the same doofy shit where they have the middle pink rope, or at least they used to when they were partnering with that money laundering scheme that is the Susan G. Komen Fund. When it's a universal non-political subject like that, in theory, go forth and make any little adjustments that you like. It's just when it comes to sexuality and shit like this that has very little to do with the actual vocation at play, yeah, leave it on the sidelines, man. Last season, the NHL dealt with a plenty of controversy surrounding pride-themed warm-up jerseys, which included a situation with the Rangers. Talked about that at the same time that it did everything else as well. Bettman said the criticism and drama took away from the various groups and causes the jersey were meant to celebrate, and it's not like they were great jerseys anyways. Like, that's the Habs logo. Now, okay, the Habs are an iconic franchise, not just in the NHL, but in sports in general, and that's an atrocity. I don't know how many jerseys that sold. I don't know what good that's doing outside of just, take that off and fucking burn it. NHL Commissioner indicated that the ban would apply to all warm-up jerseys, which include military tribute nights. Oh, but the root of the issue stemmed from pride-themed jerseys. Well, I like the fact that you're getting rid of all of this activist jersey play, but military tribute nights, I think that their sacrifice is a little bit more important, given the fact that they were unsuccessful in their conquest. You wouldn't have rinks in order to play your little fucking games on. Just saying. But Bettman was adamant that nights used to honor various causes would remain a part of the NHL. He also specifically mentioned that all 32 teams had done Pride Nights last season, which another W for baseball in that situation, where at least the Texas Rangers were like, nah, man, we don't play that shit. Teams will still be able to design special jerseys to honor causes that can be sold. Okay, that's fine then. That's fine. And players can choose to model them. Oh, choose to model them can do that. All right. So nothing's going to be mandated. Makes sense. In the final analysis, all of the efforts and emphasis of these various causes have been undermined by the distraction in terms of which teams, which players. This way, we're keeping the focus on the game, and those speciality nights, we're going to be focused on the cause. The big gay initiative nights became increasingly controversial with some NHL clubs last season as individual players opted out of wearing pride-themed warm-up jerseys. Yeah, specifically those of the Christian faith, which was a big W for Christianity, almost as rare as the one that you'd have for Bettman. While playing with the Flyers last year, Ivan Provorov made headlines when he refused to wear the gay jersey, citing his Russian Orthodox religion, and skipped warm-ups entirely during the event. Rangers, who had plans to wear Pride uniforms in January, walked back that decision before their Pride night at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, we ain't wearing that shit because, again, like some of their best players, Russian as well. They don't play that shit abroad. Our organization respects the gay community, and we are proud to bring attention to important local community organizations as part of another great Pride night. Exactly. We're just, not going to play dress up like you fucking fruits. In keeping with our organization's core values, we support everyone's individual right to respectfully express their beliefs. We just won't be partaking, which is a totally fine and measured response to things. Hey, you guys go do whatever you want. If you want us to raise charity for something, yeah, we can use our platform for that, but we are not going to be kneeling to your fucking ever-evolving banner. Get fucked. The issue continued to balloon as other players across the league cited religious beliefs. Yes, for James Reimer with the Sharks. Thank you. Well, at one point in time, he was with the Sharks. He was with the Leafs, but whatever. The two Stahl brothers that are still in the league, they joined on. A couple of players from the Chicago Blackhawks as well, which CM Punk is probably still punching air over. That fucking fruit. The Blackhawks and Wild also opted against wearing them as a team. Okay, didn't know about Minnesota, but man, that would have been quite a thing to overcome there. Minnesota, after all. More recently, Major League Baseball found itself in the fray. Yes, of course, let's harken back to this for a second because it always bears repeating. The Dodgers were embroiled in a controversy surrounding the Pride Night of this year that upset both Clayton Kershaw, Nationals pitcher Trevor Williams, and then also Blake Trevian of the Dodgers over the team's decision to include the controversial group, yes, the drag nuns that were down there, which, yeah, I'm so glad I don't ever have to repeat their name again because highly unlikely that they're ever going to be honored with another community service award. Thousands of people, led by Catholics for Catholics group, all right, gathered outside Dodger Stadium on June 16th to protest the anti-Catholic organization. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because there's supposed to be a pro-Christianity, pro-Catholic night at Dodger Stadium at the end of July. I do believe 20-something. 26 seems to ring a bell. Might be different. I'm not entirely sure, but Clayton Kershaw announced that. It'll be interesting to see if there's going to be an adverse effect, if there's going to be outrageous amounts of support for that event, because that would be interesting to see if there's actual culture shift that's going on right now, or if it's just kind of a big outrage event that is a much larger draw than changing the public sentiment. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. But as of right now, the NHL actually doing something right for once. Been a few decades, but you can take the W's wherever you can get them. Both all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.